Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on our bathroom reno, and we're going to be doing the painting for the drywall on the walls as well as the beadboard on the ceiling. Now this is a really easy DIY project. We're going to show you guys just how to do this. So stick around and we'll get started. Now to start today, we're going to be painting the ceiling, and we have some ceiling paint right here. This will most always be flat white paint, and you can buy specifically ceiling paint for this. And this paint right here looks pink, but when it dries perfectly white. I'm not sure why they have it pink, but it actually does make it really easy to tell where you have been, especially if you do a second coat. You can very easily see the new paint on the old paint. So that might be the reason why they've done that, but it's cool. It just dries perfectly white and is flat ceiling paint like normal. So I'm going to start by cutting in, and the reason why you do this first is you cut in so that when you roll, it will cover up the paintbrush marks. The paintbrush actually does not get a nice even finish quite like the roller does. So we're going to paint around the edge, cut in around the edge with the paintbrush, and then come back with the roller and touch that up. So if you roll first and you paint with the paintbrush afterwards to cut in, you'll see where the paintbrush has made marks in it. So once the edges have all been cut in, I'm going to take the roller, and you really want to douse this in paint and then really work it in quite a bit before you start rolling. Now doing this will make your job a lot easier when you're trying to put a nice even coat of paint on the ceiling. Now when you're doing the ceiling as well as the walls, you want to make sure you're not rolling too fast. If you roll fast, it will splatter all over the floor as well as the walls, and it can cause a big mess. So I'm going to go pretty slow. I'll speed up the video a little bit to move things along quicker, but this roller works great on the beadboard. If you push down a fair amount of pressure, it will actually squeeze the paint into the cracks there, and it will completely cover all of it. Now there is a reason why we started with the ceiling, and that is just because it's a lot easier to work your way from the top down. That way if you drip or splatter any paint, you won't even notice it. It's going to be covered up as you work your way down to the trim and then to the walls. So that's how we're going to be working from the top down. Easiest way by far to do it, and you don't have to worry about any drips or mistakes you make when you're cutting in on the moldings as well as onto the walls. Now this is a renovation. We're adding on a new bathroom onto the back of our house. So the floor currently is just chipboard. We haven't installed the flooring yet, and there are no fixtures in the bathroom. It's just the sheetrock on the walls and the chipboard floors. So we're not worried about any drips. We're still being careful, not dripping everywhere. But if you have a floor in there, if this is already an existing room, there's furniture, there's things in there you don't want paint on, get some plastic, cover that up, tape off anything you don't want painted just to be safe so that you're not cleaning up later or messing things up when you drip paint on stuff. Hey guys, if this video has been helpful for you so far, hit that like button down below. That will help me out a ton. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I upload a new video each week on the DIY project that I'm working on that week. It'll be anything from home improvements, working outside in the yard, in the garden, woodworking, all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in that sort of content, hit that subscribe button down below and you won't miss out on those videos each week. Keep watching the video, because once we're finished with the ceiling, we're going to move down to the walls and the trim, and we're going to have plenty more pointers for you guys as you're tackling this project. Now we have everything just about finished up with the ceiling. This paint that we're using has paint and primer in it, so it covered really well, so we're most likely not going to need to do another coat. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is painting the trim around the ceiling as well as the walls and the baseboard, all the moldings. Now we actually chose to paint the walls a very light off-white, sort of a cream color, so we're going to actually be painting the moldings and the trim all the same color as the walls. Now because of this, we're going to have to do a lot less cutting in, which is really nice. It'll speed things up, but it also looks really good once it's all finished. Everything will be really light and airy in here. It's not a huge bathroom, but the ceiling will be white and the walls will be a light cream. All the fixtures like The sink, the toilet, the showers will all be white, so it's going to be a really bright space, and the sunlight will shine in through the window and reflect everywhere. So it's going to be really cool. The paint we're going to be using has been sitting for quite a while, and it's left over from another project we've done. So I'm going to mix this up really good with a drill before we get started painting, because the pigments will get all separated and won't be the right color unless you mix it in really well. Now, just like with the ceiling I mentioned before, you want to roll at a steady pace, not too fast, or else you'll splatter all over the floor. So we're going to be keeping that in mind as we're painting. I'm going to be rolling the walls and getting that done. My wife's going to be cutting in. You want to cut in around the corners and around the trim at the top, because you cannot get into those cracks with the roller and it will mess everything up. So my wife loves to cut in. I like to roll a lot more than cutting in, so it works out really well. She'll cut in while I'm painting the walls. Now you may notice as I'm rolling along, I like to roll in sections and completely finish off a section before moving on. I'm not going sporadically sideways, left and right. I just go straight up and down, finish a row, move on to the next section, and that is more important once you get to the second coat. It's a lot harder to see where you've already painted, so this really helps make sure you finish off a section, move on, and then you'll know where you've already been. Now, I may be picky, but I also don't like to have the edges of the paint dry before I come back with the next roller and keep painting along. It gives it a nice even coat, and if you let a seam dry and you come back later and paint to connect the two sections, you'll actually see an overlap. It'll be subtle, but you'll notice that this section has been painted 2 times and everything else has only been painted once. So you can keep that in mind as well. Just keep moving along and work from one side to the other, and then you have as little seams as possible. Now, paint does so much for a room, whether it's the wrong color you have on the wall and need a new fresh coat of paint, or if it's just the plain sheetrock and spackle on the walls, it completely finishes off the room and makes it look a ton better. Now, this also does expose any mistakes you made with the sheetrock and the spackling, and hopefully everything turned out great. You don't have to come back and fix anything. Now that just about finishes up everything you need to know about painting and getting the project started. After that, it's just repeating the same steps, and it just takes time. So we're going to speed up the video, show you guys kind of a time lapse of the progress we're getting with this. Alright guys, that just about finishes up the video for today. We have just a few touch-ups before we're finished painting this room, but this is a great DIY project for just about anybody. Save a little bit of money and do it yourself. Now this is the 11th video we've posted so far, the process of building this new bathroom on the back of our house. We've done everything ourselves, from electrical, plumbing, sheetrock insulation, spackling, painting. Now if you're interested in seeing those other videos, stay here until the end of the video and I have those clickable links that you can go to those videos. Also, I have all the links in the description below and you can check those out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you have not already. And if you want a notification when I upload a new video, hit that bell icon. And if you have not yet liked this video, mash that like button and help me out. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one.